Do you know that sometimes helping someone in their tough times can backfire severely? It's unpredictable when such actions might turn against us, potentially causing dire consequences. Especially during bad times, nothing seems to go right. A person's judgment often becomes clouded, leading to impulsive decisions. If decisions are not made wisely, the mind can be overtaken by negative influences, pushing one to act recklessly. Today, we will discuss an incident that shook an entire city. In different parts of the city, 29 human body parts were discovered, causing widespread panic. The police were left sleepless as they worked to unravel the mystery. Greetings, friends. How are you doing? Today, we are going to talk about the infamous Mrs. Shetty case. This story begins in the Dakshina Kannada district of Karnataka, a state in southern India. This district includes the well-known city of Bangalore, also called Bengaluru, a prominent commercial hub situated along the Arabian Sea. The city is famous for its port, facilitating global import and export activities. The event in question occurred in Kadri, a locality in Bangalore. It was May 12, 2019, early in the morning. As the sun rose, a shopkeeper arrived near Kadri Park to open his shop. Upon reaching the location, he noticed 2 plastic bags lying near his shop. Finding it unusual since the bags weren't there the previous day, he approached them out of curiosity. One of the bags appeared slightly bulky, so he decided to check its contents. When he opened the first bag, he was shocked to find a helmet covered in red, sticky substance. Turning the helmet over, he was horrified to discover a severed human head inside. The shopkeeper panicked and immediately suspected that the second bag might also contain something gruesome. Without delay, he informed the local police. Officers from Kadri police station rushed to the scene. By then, a crowd had started gathering around the area. Upon inspecting the first bag, the police confirmed the shopkeeper's findings. The severed head belonged to a woman, as indicated by the presence of a bindi, long hair, and feminine facial features. Opening the second bag, they discovered more body parts, pieces of a torso, and severed hands. The horrifying news spread rapidly across the city. To ensure a thorough investigation, the police brought sniffer dogs to search the area for additional bags or evidence, but found nothing else. The recovered remains were sent to the forensic laboratory at Wenlock Hospital for analysis. Meanwhile, on the same day, another report came in from the Nandigutta area, located a few kilometers from Kadri. Near the Christian cemetery, locals noticed a gunny bag leaking a red liquid. The local police investigated and found more severed body parts inside small pieces of a torso. The police connected the findings from both locations and informed the Kadri police. A case was registered against an unknown suspect. The gruesome discoveries heightened public fear, prompting the police commissioner to form a 30-member task force. This included officers from the Central Crime Branch CCB and local police stations. Their primary goal was to identify the victim and apprehend the perpetrator. Forensic experts at Wenlock Hospital confirmed that all the recovered body parts belonged to the same individual, a woman approximately 35 to 40 years old. The murder had occurred roughly 24 to 30 hours prior, around May 11th. Identifying the victim became the police's top priority, as it was the key to solving the case and finding the killer. Information was provided to all police stations in Bangalore regarding body parts found. Authorities asked if anyone had filed or attempted to file a missing person complaint in recent days, specifically for a 35-40-year-old woman. They were requested to report immediately. When a severed head was discovered in the Kadri area, the news quickly spread. Around this time, a man arrived at the Kadri police station and reported that his sister had been missing since the morning of May 11th. He stated that she had gone out on her scooter to her shop, but had not returned. The man's sister owned an electrical repair shop in the Tower area. She would typically leave home at 9 a.m. every day. On May 11th, she left as usual, but never reached the shop. Employees at the shop said they tried calling her when she did not arrive, but her phone was switched off. They then informed her brother, who also tried to contact her and search for her. Despite reaching out to relatives and friends, no one knew her whereabouts. A whole day and night passed without any trace of her. Hearing this, the police asked the brother for more details about his sister, her name, age, what she said before leaving home, the clothes she was wearing, and her physical appearance. The brother identified her as Mrs. Shetty, aged 37. Based on this information, the police informed the investigating officer about the missing person complaint. They then took the brother to the district hospital, where the severed head and other body parts were shown to him. The brother was deeply distressed and identified the remains as his sister, Mrs. Shetty. He then informed the rest of the family about her demise. This is how the woman was identified on the same day the body parts were found. The police began investigating Mrs. Shetty's background. Understanding the victim's history is crucial for solving such cases. Mrs. Shetty lived in Bangalore's Tower area with her father's elder sister aunt. She had been married before, but had divorced her husband due to differences. She owned a shop named Shrimathi Electrical and Electronics Sales and Service which specialized in repairing electrical appliances. About 4 years ago, she built her own house in Amar Alva Lane in the Tower area. She later moved in there and lived alone, while her other family members lived nearby. After her divorce, a second man entered Mrs. Shetty's life. This man, named Sudeep, was a distant relative. Despite family objections, Mrs. Shetty married Sudeep, but 2 years ago, she filed for divorce from him as well. Upon learning this, the police suspected that either her first husband or Sudeep might be involved in her murder. They first interrogated her ex-husband, checked his call detail records CDR, and tracked his location. He claimed he had no contact with Mrs. Shetty after their divorce. His statements were verified, and his location data confirmed he was not near her home or shop during the incident. The police then inquired about Sudeep and learned that he was in jail. He had multiple theft cases registered against him in different police stations and was an under-trial prisoner. Mrs. Shetty had filed for divorce due to his criminal behavior. Although Sudeep had a criminal mindset, he had been in jail for a long time, raising doubts about his involvement. When interrogated, Sudeep claimed he had no reason or opportunity to kill Mrs. Shetty, and this was verified as true. The investigation then focused on determining who might have murdered Mrs. Shetty and why. The police collected her mobile number and retrieved her call detail records and tower locations. On May 13th, reports of body parts being found in gunny bags surfaced from various locations in the city. These included areas near KPT Junction Petrol Pump, Padua Hostel, Koti Chennai Circle, and Vaman Nayak Road. These body parts were also sent to the district hospital for examination, as they were suspected to belong to Mrs. Shetty. Simultaneously, the police analyzed CCTV footage from all cameras between Mrs. Shetty's home and shop. They aimed to determine where she had gone after leaving her house. Family members provided more details about Mrs. Shetty's routine. She usually drove her car to the shop daily at 9 a.m., carrying her packed lunch. However, on May 11th, she left on her TVS Jupiter scooter instead. CCTV footage showed her wearing a black top and white trousers as she left her house around 9 a.m. Instead of heading towards her shop, she was seen passing through Roshan Nilaya and reaching Valencia Circle. She then took a right turn towards Goragada and proceeded to Southern Pet. After this, her movements were no longer visible in subsequent camera footage. She was neither seen nor was her scooter, meaning she disappeared after going to South Pit. The last location of her phone also indicated this area. Investigating officers informed the Kadri and Kanak Nadi police stations about her scooter's registration number, asking them to locate it near the place she vanished. It was likely the scooter would be somewhere nearby, but despite checking all CCTV cameras around the area, the scooter was nowhere to be found. This suggested it was taken to a location without camera coverage. On the evening of May 13th, the Kadri and Kanak Nadi police reached the Nagori area. They sought help from the local residents, describing the scooter's appearance, registration number, and other details. By nightfall, some locals noticed a maroon-colored TVS Jupiter scooter parked outside a garage filled with various vehicles under repair. Upon checking the number plate, they confirmed it matched the details shared by the police. When the police inspected the scooter, they found bloodstains on its rear wheel. Inside, they discovered dismembered body parts packed in a sack, along with items like a tiffin box, a bank passbook, a charger, and a handkerchief. The body was still incomplete, with several parts yet to be found. Conversations with her family revealed she ran a chit fund business alongside her electrical repair shop. She would lend money to people at interest. Police suspected someone indebted to her might have eliminated her to avoid repayment. Her staff informed the police that she maintained a detailed ledger for her transactions. Upon searching her shop, the police found the ledger, which contained records of the amounts lent, repayments received, and dues pending. The police began questioning various individuals listed in the ledger and those she recently contacted via phone. About 20 people were interrogated, but no solid leads emerged. Meanwhile, with every new body part discovery, public fear and pressure on the police intensified. On May 14th, while reviewing footage near areas where gunny bags were found, the police uncovered a key clue at a petrol pump near Kadri Park. In footage recorded on the night of May 11th, 12, a man on a Honda scooter was seen carrying several gunny bags. He placed 2 bags near a shop and left. Unfortunately, due to poor lighting and the distance of the camera, neither the man's face nor the scooter's number plate was visible. Rumors also emerged about body parts being disposed of in a well in Kadri. Acting on this, the police summoned sniffer dogs, the fire brigade, and water pumps to investigate. After thoroughly searching and draining the well, they found plastic bags at the bottom, but these contained no human remains. It was a false alarm. On May 15th, a gunny bag containing a human foot was discovered by the roadside near Srinath's Malya Park in Kadri. This was the final missing piece. With this, the dismembered body was fully accounted for, comprising a total of 29 parts. Upon rechecking footage from South Pit, where the victim was last seen, the police noticed something previously overlooked. In the footage, she briefly stopped her scooter and appeared to speak with a man on another scooter for 2 or 3 seconds before driving off. The man then turned his scooter around and followed her. This man's scooter matched the Honda seen earlier in the gunny bag footage. This time, the camera also captured the number plate, which was registered to Jonas Sampson. By the evening of May 15th, the police reached Jonas Sampson's residence on 9th Cross Road in South Pit. When they knocked on his door, he briefly opened it, saw the police, and immediately shut it again. Sensing something amiss, the police broke in to find Jonas attempting to harm himself with a knife. They restrained him and took him into custody. Jonas's name was listed in the victim's ledger, but only his surname, Sampson, was noted. There were several people with that surname in the area, which had initially hindered the investigation. Jonas confessed under interrogation, revealing he had borrowed rupee 1 lakh from the victim for his business a year ago. However, he had only managed to repay rupee 30,000 due to financial struggles and repeated calls from the victim for repayment. Jonas planned the murder. On May 11th, the victim confronted Jonas at his house, publicly insulting him and demanding repayment. In a fit of rage, Jonas struck her with a wooden stick, knocking her unconscious. With his wife Victoria's help, he dismembered her body and disposed of the parts across various locations in the city. He sold her jewelry to a man named Raju, who was later arrested, and the jewelry was recovered. On September 17, 2024, Jonas and Victoria were sentenced to life imprisonment and fined rupee 35,000 each. Raju was sentenced to 5 years for possessing stolen property. The court also awarded rupee 50,000 as compensation to the victim's mother. The case may be challenged in higher courts.